Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome to a bit of Pillars of Eternity. So, I'm going to go into a little bit of history about Pillars of Eternity, and then, talk a bit about channel, then Pillars of Eternity, then we'll get into the game itself. So, you may be wondering if you've just come from my a bit of Fallout New Vegas series. I was saying like, oh, I might do Mass Effect on the channel as my next game to record. The reason why I'm not doing Mass Effect is quite simply because I don't like interrupting NPCs, and that game has a lot of talking, and I don't want to interrupt it and spoil the story. I also like reading the codex entries, which are also fully voice acted, so there's no need for me to talk there. And I like to talk. I like having these games to talk over. That's the whole point of this. And especially for my darling dearest as well, I like to be able to talk more than I usually do IRL. So yeah, here we've got Pillars of Eternity. Now let's talk about what Pillars of Eternity is, because it has a phenomenal history. So, Pillars of Eternity is made by Obsidian Entertainment. I think they now just go by the name of Obsidian, if I remember from the splash screen of The Outer Worlds. Obsidian Entertainment comprise the members of Black Isle, so you've got Obsidian here, then you've got Black Isle Studio and Troika Games, and they came from Interplay, the original makers of Fallout. When Interplay went bankrupt, members of that team went to different studios, so some went to Black Isle and some made Troika, and then they joined up to make Obsidian. Black Isle Studio, fun fact, was actually going to make the original Baldur's Gate 3, but I think it was actually under Interplay's leadership and they went bust or something like that. I don't know the full story. The history of it is not very well recorded from what I understand. And but they made lots of different games. I can't remember any off the top of my head. I know they are quite famous for a fair few games. Besides fucking Lord, I've just sent a message to play a game. Sorry about that. My Discord went off. Okay, that's great. Nothing to do with me. Right, so, but Troika Games, they made, I think they actually managed to make about 2 games before they went bust, and, you know, understandably when there were so many different things going on for that studio. So they made Steamworks of, they made Arcanum of Steamworks and Magic Obscura, I think it's called. Like a CRPG with tech and magic. You'll find elements of that in Pillars of Eternity. And they also made Vampire the Masquerade. That was their swan song. The problem is that it was quite a low budget game. They didn't have long to make it. That's quite a common theme with Obsidian games, is being able to work with other people's timetable. Because Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines had to come out at the same time as Half-Life to show off the Source engine. So there were problems there. The 2 companies decided that they were going to reunite and make Obsidian Entertainment. And they made a number of games, all of them very good. They made one of my favourite RPGs, Alpha Protocol, which took a while for me to like. Fallout New Vegas, which took a while for me to like. Pillars of Eternity, which took a while for me to like. And all the rest of them. They made lots of different games. Now, Pillars of Eternity came about when Obsidian Entertainment, following the development of Fallout New Vegas, basically they were told that if this game gets an 85, a score of 85 out of 100 on the reviews aggregate site Metacritic, they'll get a bonus. Bonuses are common in the industry, and they're usually attached to external factors, which I don't very much like at all. I think if you're going to have bonuses, it should be based on their performance rather than external factors. They got an 84 on Metacritic. They were 1 point off from getting their bonus, and they said that this bonus was meant to help them make their next game. So, embittered by the loss of this bonus because of a very simple thing that was just totally external to them, they left Bethesda's contract and employment, having done the DLCs as well, I should say. And they decided, okay, no gods, no masters, only men. We are going to Kickstarter. We're only going to be beholden to the customers. And they pitched Pillars of Eternity. at the time, Project Eternity, when it was all under wraps. And basically, they were harkening back. They wanted to make a spiritual successor to Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, Icewind Dale, those sort of games. I think it was the Infinite Engine games. And so they made this, and it was a roaring success. I don't know exactly how much. I will have to check that on my history, but from what I remember, they were one of the most successful, they were the earliest and most successful Kickstarter projects at the time. And it went to show, along with people like, what was his name now? One of the Tims. Not Tim Sweeney, not Tim Schafer. Tim Schafer with Psychonauts and all the rest of it, going to Kickstarter actually worked out really well. And so they went on to make Pillars of Eternity. A very good game that spawned a sequel, and also as well got them recognition from Paradox as well, and saying, look, we want you to make a game for us. We hold the rights to it, called Tyranny. My favourite CRPG of Obsidian's. And yeah, they made that, and again, a lot of their games, they did okay, they made enough money to break even, but a lot of the time it was really just a case of, no, we need the funding from Kickstarter. That's where the money is for us, so we can at least pay our staff. And then, because we do so good at our projects, we can get more money from Kickstarters. I am happy to say that that Obsidian have found a forever home in Microsoft. They've been able to work on projects like The Outer Worlds, Grounded, Pentiment, and they are not afraid to take on so many different ideas, completely unrelated to their other things. And sometimes that's bad for developers, but other times you do get some pretty nice gems out of them. So, yeah. So, Pillars of Eternity, I wasn't really keen on playing, but I thought, you know what, let's give it a go, let's see how it fares. Maybe playing it again, it'll be better. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to play base game, and we've got the DLC to do at some stage as well. I'm going to play, I think... I'm trying to think, do I want to... I kind of want to play easy mode, but at the same time, I think... I'll start with normal, and we'll see go from there. If it's too hard or whatever, we can go down to easy. It's okay. It's all very casual. And I think you will decide in the first episode of this if you're really going to want to watch, because I do have criticisms with Pillars of Eternity, consistent with other people's as well, but at the same time, I do like the game. And if this doesn't work out, there's always Bioshock. That was my other choice of game.
5 wagons grope blindly for the path on a starless night, their master glancing ever upward to the skies for assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern, his only protection against the encroaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know. The caravan carries travelers bound for the frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to settlers from abroad looking for a fresh start. You have taken suddenly ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf. He pulls up just in time to avoid plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead. You will go no further tonight.
So, to make our character. So, let's first of all start with their sex. Male. The place of men in societies varies from culture to culture. Cultures like Adir and the Direwood place them at the forefront of military, politics, and heavy labour. Among the tribes of Narsitak, men perform many of the homesteading and organisational duties. In Glenfarth and Ixmital, men and women have more fluid social roles. In all societies, there are exceptions to the rule, and men can be found in a wide variety of stations and professions. So I do like as well that in this and like Tyranny, they sort of do talk about what men and women typically do. in tyranny, for example, like I think women actually do quite a lot of labour jobs, and men are more, I think, more suited for, I think, for diplomacy. I think I'm not entirely sure how it worked. I like the idea, and I do as well say that they say, you know, it in all societies there are exceptions to the rule. It is fairly fluid. I like that. Female. A woman's role in Aura is dependent on where she is from. In the Adir Empire, Valian Republics, and the Direwood, women may occupy many domestic, educational, and organizational roles. They are the primary hunters, soldiers, and leaders of the tribes of Narsitek. In Airglanfath and Ixamital, men and women have more fluid social roles. So, I think I went for a lady before. Yes, I did. I went for a lady before, so we're gonna go for a man. Choose the race, so the humans. Humans, commonly called folk, are the most common race in the Direwood, the Adir Republics, Alvalia, and the Valian Republics. Though not as large as the towering Ormoa, humans are known for their strength and willpower. The Ormoa. The mighty Ormoa are the largest of the Kith races and are commonly found in or near oceans. Though not truly aquatic, they have an affinity for water, and many of their civilians, such as the Rauatai, are based on naval dominance. They are known for their unparalleled strength. See, I love, like, water, like, anything that's... I'm a Pisces, so I don't really do the whole astrology thing, but I do, you know, it's like, sort of like the... You know, I think that would explain my affinity to water. I can't explain anything else. But yeah, like, the idea of, like, water and ice... Those are my favourite places to be in a game. So yeah, I'm even okay with underwater levels in games. Yep. Even World of Warcraft, Bastion was the first place I went to in Catalysm. Loved it at the time, not so much now. The Dwarves. By virtue of land covered and number of colonies settled, Dwarves are the most well-travelled race in the world. They're commonly found in the Direwood, the Valian Republics, and almost any colonized land. Dwarves are known for their great strength and tenacity. So something here as well is harkening back to old, like of the old CRPGs is might +2, dexterity -1. You don't really see that so much in a lot of RPGs today of like the negative stats and constitution +1. So it's offset by, so the dexterity loss is increased by your might and constitution. I will talk about the ability scores soon, and the attributes as they call them. Elves. Elves are the dominant race of Airglanfath and the Wends, and are extremely common in the Direwood and Adir. Elves are known for their speed and intelligence, as well as the commonly isolationist nature. The Orlands. Orlands are the smallest of the Kith races, though many races don't consider them to be civilized at all. Also notable for their large ears, two-toned skin, and hirsute bodies, Orlands are commonly found in Airglanfath, the Ixamital Plains, and parts of the Direwood. They are known for their mental intensity and sharp senses. Resolve +1, so they lose might because they're small stature, and even then, well, I say that the dwarves get +2 might. I suppose they're more nimble than they are strong. So they get more resolve, might, and perception. And you got the Godlike, who are, yeah. These are an interesting bunch. They really are. And I think as well, it might mention here, let's have a read. The Godlike are the Kith civilized races who have been blessed with the physical aspects associated with the gods, though some do not consider it a blessing. These aspects take many forms and are often come in mystical powers. The aberrant head shapes are typical, and godlike are unable to wear protective headgear as it is near impossible to find anything that fits. Because of their unusual nature and inability to reproduce, godlike are often viewed with fear and wonder. So I was actually tempted to play a godlike just when I saw them, because I'm thinking of playing like a priest kind of character. Interesting as well here, they can't wear helmets or hats or anything like that because of the shape of their head. And you could choose here what kind of godlike you like. So you've got nature, they look cool. Moon ones, not my sort of style. The fire one looks amazing. Look at those particle effects. The death one, I even think it'd be like a priest of the god of death or something like that. Death godlikes are commonly killed at birth because many cultures consider them to be harbingers of doom. Death's Usher. When the death godlike attack an enemy with all less endurance, the damage is increased. Let's say I want to be a fighter. Sorry, a human. Let's have a look. So depending on what kind of folk you are, you can be savannah, ocean, or meadow. Fighting spirits, once per encounter, you get bonuses. Accuracy and damage. So it doesn't really matter. I think it's mostly like a like where you're from and like certain cosmetic choices as well. Do I want to be a folk? Because I was an ocean folk last time. I was an ocean folk paladin. I might actually go with ocean folk again. Then I don't know. What about dwarf? No. What about armor? So you got the coastal and you got the island ones. Out of the teeth, gain additional weapon set. Towering physique, gain a opponent's stun effects. Dwarves. Could be a mountain or a real dwarf. Nice. Elves. I don't really bother with elves. I can't remember the last time I really got into playing an elf. Could be a hearth, Orlan. We're often found as slaves. Oh dear. Minor threat while attacking any target that's also been targeted by teammates. Convert some of their hits into crits. Okay, that's good. So like they're really super like thieves. Godlike. I think I want to be a godlike. Attack an enemy with 25% or less endurance, their damage is increased. Let's go with that. It's like they are more about finish. Sorry about that, I thought I heard something. Okay. That could be a little godlike. It could be even littler. I do like this though, the idea of the body type as well. So like, this might actually even inform like your parentage. So like, okay, so like I don't know, like my mother was was a godlike, and my father was like an armor, or my father was a dwarf, and my mother was a godlike, whatever, you know. I'm gonna go with human. I think yeah. We get to choose their class. So there's some really interesting classes in this game. I have to say, I'm going to say right now, I love barbarians and D&D. They're like my favourite class. And yeah, I don't play them often. It's like, but I just love them. So chanters are kind of cool. They're like bards, and like they have to like string together their songs. There was a game I was playing recently, and I can't remember what it was. The idea of like, yeah, but you get bits of song and you like sing it out, and then it plays out. It's pretty cool. It's like magic, so they're bards basically. Ciphers, they're like psionics, I think. They're fucking cool. They use like psionic mind powers. Druids, they can shapeshift. Yeah, they're kind of cool. Rogues, wizards. Wizards are strange, but well, we'll get around to that. Paladins. Paladins. If I had to recommend a class to play, I would strongly recommend the paladin because they have faith and conviction, and basically, so the idea of paladins is you're not really loyal to a god as such. You are more loyal to an ideal. So you, it's like, what are your ideals? So let's say your ideals are honesty, justice, and and hard partying. Yeah. So if you do those things in dialogue, your faith and conviction goes up. If you do those things in the open world, your faith and conviction goes up, and then you get more defense and attack. Yeah, so it's a really good choice if you like your charismatic sort of stuff to be reflected in your character. It's really good. They go hand in hand together. They're amazing. Monks. I want to play a monk one day. But I'm going to play a priest. Priests are devotees of Yora's deities and practitioners of religious magic. While all priests dedicate themselves to specific gods, priests' powers actually derive from their personal beliefs. In contrast to most paladins, priests tend to focus on philosophy, teaching, and relationship with the religious organizations of common folk. The reception of priests in any given part of the world depends largely on how their god is revered, or reviled, by the people who live there. So, my starting abilities are Holy Radiance. Generates a modest amount of endurance for allies around the priest. Any enemy caught in the area take burn damage and may be frightened. Over the course of the game, the power of this ability may shift based on the reputations the priest gains relative to their behaviors and prepared by his or her deity. Spells. Priests have access to a variety of support and defense-oriented spells. Every 2 levels, priests automatically gain access to an additional set of spells. Initially, their spells can be cast a limited number of times per rest. As priests gain power, their weaker spells shift to per encounter use. Oh, nice. They get athletics and lore. They get endurance, health, accuracy, and reflection. So, well, very low. But that's more about their combat stuff more than their other things. So now we get to choose our deity. So if I choose Paladin, you choose which Paladin order you belong to. I think I was with the Gold Pack before. But yeah, favoured dispositions are Stoic, Rational, disfavoured, and then disfavoured are Passionate and Aggressive. So you've got to choose what kind of attitude you have when you're talking to NPCs. I think this is the god I want, actually. Called Berath in Adrian and Cyrano in Valian. It is the god of cycles, of doors, and of life and death itself. Death. People commonly place or carve a figure of Berath in doorways, windows, and other portals from one place to another. Berath is a relatively small priesthood, in part because it does not often speak to them often. However, Berath has many petitioners and occasional followers. Their favourite dispositions are Stoic and Rational, and their disfavoured positions are Passionate and Cruel. You can be a priest of Berathus, god of light, redemption, and rebirth. One of the most famous and revered gods, but considered missing. Magran is the goddess of war and fire. Skane is the quiet slave. The god of secret hate, resentment, and violent rebellion. So actually, Skane is like I think as well they're known as like the rat god or something like that, because they are worshipped by people who are like oppressed. A god that's often taken up by the slaves who want to be freed. Whale is the god of dreams, secrets, and mysteries, inscrutable to even other gods. Whale has no determinate gender or consistent appearance. Simply as the eye, the look and number of eyes often change. Basically, the god of secrets. Berath, because I played like a grave cleric of the grave in D&D 5th edition. Absolutely loved it. Garvel Grimhammer. Yeah, absolutely loved him. So, what does a female god look like? So I'm going to go with Berath, I think. But the disposition, Stoic and Rational, I can go with that. Passionate and Cruel, because I used to be like the passionate player, and now I'm like, no, I kind of want to be a bit more rational. I like the more neutral options. So now we get to put our points into our different attributes. So I recommend having a read of these. Like, if you need to pause the video, please do, as I just sort of go through them. But what I like about the attributes in Pillars of Eternity is that they, and Josh Sawyer, the lead director of this game, has spoken about it at the GDC, the Game Developers Conferences. And he went into great detail about how he wanted to fix the attribute system and balance the game. Basically, the way he did it was look at how D&D does it and get rid of the dump stat. There will be no dump stat system in this game. So in D&D, you have a number of attributes, and they are ability scores attributes, and they are strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. And depending on your class, you will need multiple or just one of those, and then the rest are dump stats. The idea of like, I've got an upgrade that I can just put here. You know, like, oh, like my stat is maxed out, usually 18. I don't need to put any more points there. So, like, for example, if you're a wizard, you only really need intelligence. If you want to, you can buff your constitution to increase your hit points, or you can boost your charisma to help you in dialogue. You can, boost your dexterity to maybe dodge attacks better. Otherwise, you don't really need it. If you're a fighter, you kind of need, strength, dexterity, and constitution. If you're a monk, you need dexterity and constitution. If you're a barbarian, you need strength and constitution. If you're a warlock, you need charisma. If you're a cleric, you need wisdom. Because that's what sort of powers up your magic abilities. Well, every stat in Pillars of Eternity matters in some way. So you can see these stars on the left-hand side. So it's saying that might and intellect are the absolute most important stats for my character. But dexterity and resolve are also nice. So I'm definitely going to be maxing out my intellect. I'm putting a few more points than might. I really want to focus more on spells if I can, but I appreciate that might not be the best. I appreciate that I might not even have that as an option, especially on this difficulty. I might actually have to put some points into the melee and get stuck in the fight. So my intellect can go to 19. And you can see there on the right, I was going to say it's like Godlike, but no. Because I'm Godlike, not, yeah. So, because I'm a Death Godlike, I get Dexterity and Intellect +1. So I can go above the 18 that I'd normally be limited to. So each of these stats have different things. So all these stats matter to me. I can use all of them, and they will all be a benefit to me. Whereas in D&D, yes, a cleric could put points into, say, charisma, but it's not really going to power many of their spells or abilities, That's not to say you can't have a charismatic cleric, it's just that there's other classes that you could take to be more charismatic. And power your spells through your force of personality, your literal force of personality. So I put all my points into intellect there. I do want more dialogue choices, so I'm going to ignore the lack of a star there and go for those there. I'm going to pump up my might. In fact, no, I need that to go up a lot higher, because look at that, my damage and healing go up. So if I'm going to use that. I'm still going to have the 19 to get the most out of that. But I'm just trying to think as well, what else? Do I really, really want that? Do I really want 19 there and just ignore everything else? I kind of want to say yes. I could bring them below average. But I'd rather not do 10's average. 8 is weak. Anything below weak, anything below that is going to be bad. I recommend for priest. Yeah. I like a little bit of dexterity and a bit of perception, because those are going to be useful in dialogue. And you can see there, I have interrupt, accuracy, and reflex. Dexterity, action speed, and reflexes. So there's multiple kinds of defense. You've got reflex, you've got fortitude, and you've got will. And you've also got deflection as well. And those depend on how you. Those determine what you're most defensible against. It is essentially like the the Pathfinder or D&D 3rd edition sort of stuff of let's get rid of saving throws for specific attributes. Let's now have fortitude, reflex, and will. So, can you take a poison? Yes, then that's your fortitude. Are you being attacked with a swift attack? Then you need to use your reflexes to dodge it. Is someone attacking you with their brain into your brain? Then you need will. And now we get to choose our culture, which affects things even further. We can raise our intellect to 20 if we want to. So let's have a look at where we came from. The Aedia Empire is currently the largest and most powerful force in this part of the world. It is centered around the equator and has tropical climate. Though the Empire has colonies in numerous areas of the world, Greater Aedia is at the heart and houses of the majority of its humans and elf nations. And we get Resolve +1 from that. So it's there. Reflected up there. Let's make sure. I don't know if my cursor is being reflected. I do apologise if not. Deadfire Archipelago rather. Archipelago. Archipelago. That's my old pronunciation of it. This is a word you need to know how to pronounce because it comes up a lot in Pillars of Eternity Deadfire, because that's where it takes place. Consisting of the nation of Nasitak, dozens of Amoa settlements, and hundreds of lawless pirate-infested islands that stretch across the southern sea, Deadfire is the home of Boreal dwarves, Amoa, and a mixed variety of other races. Deadfire Archipelago is the last stop for anyone headed east. A multitude of monstrous sea creatures infest the oceans beyond, making travel virtually impossible. Extremal plains. A large expanse of fertile savannas that are extensively farmed by humans and all residents. One of the oldest cultures in the world. I like the idea of this one. I like the idea of like my character like coming from a farming background. You know, seeing the seasons and the cycles. Also, as like Mortarion, the Primarch of the Death Guard in 40k, Warhammer 40,000. He's like from that sort of feudalistic environment. So yeah, and if my character's essentially like an embodiment of death, then that sounds pretty cool. Alvalia, it's the now the crumbled remnants of an empire of warring nations. That's not quite for me. Yes, I could raise my intelligence, I'd rather not. Rawatai, hosts to a number of nations, whereas the Momoa, Orlan and Dwarven. So it's like new colonies, but not quite for me. The Living Lands, mountainous regions of the large North Island, renowned for its diversity of plant and animal life. It's where there is unpredictable as ecosystems that vary dramatically. The Living Lands are home to an assortment of races. That one sounds good. The White Wens, a large, correct southern expanse of polar ice. It's the home of the Pale Elves and small colonies of daring explorers. Yeah, it's basically Icewind Dale. Well, that's what like the next DLC is, essentially. So, I like the plains. The Living Lands would be beneficial. I like the lands. To be honest, like, there is some irony, isn't there? I've been a death-like in the Living Lands. I'm gonna go for the Living Lands. My background: you're part of a group that founded a fledgling colony in a distant land. So these determine out your skills. So you could be an explorer. I wonder, you're a labourer. You could be a merchant, a drifter, stealth mechanics, hunter, mercenary, or a scientist. Law is going to be a very good skill for me to have, I think. But would I have been a merchant? Blade and battle is your way of life. You solve your problems by pulling out your own blind force. Scientist. I like the idea of being a scientist. I don't know what other scientific companies there are. Explorer. I like the idea of being an explorer. My character has had to travel far and wide because they can't, you know, they're not really accepted in their culture. So what is our backstory, I wonder? Would they have locked themselves in a lab? I think they would have done that. Yeah. Could have locked themselves in a laboratory trying to understand the forces of life and death, trying to understand who they are. I can live with that, yeah. Scientist. We get to choose our colours for our armour and such. I like that, to be honest, yeah. Maybe go for brighter red. Yeah. Greens. Yes. Red for me and green for my darling dearest. Let's choose our head. Ooh. Facial hair, none. Oh, okay. Oh, alright then. I do like that head. But, just, how do I see? That one I could believe a bit more. But, I love that, but... I don't know, I like that head. So yeah, so there's 99 portraits. No bitch ain't one. Oh, that was my old portrait there for my character. My old one. Oh, Santa then. Very Christmassy. That's kind of cool. That was like one of the nature ones, I think. I'd go for that. But yeah, this is like very Baldur's Gate with the character portraits and such. There are quite a few. Is that what I look like? Could I get away with... Which one was it? Could I get away with that one, do you think? Yeah, fuck it. That one. That one I'll do. Choose a voice.
Mm-hmm. Now I am the leader of the group. Stand together!
Not a sound.
Yes?
Follow me, nice and slow. Huh? Follow me. Let's go!
My eyes are peeled. Yeah? I've got this.
Death to our enemies! I'll go on ahead.
Yes?
Leading the way. To whispers and shadows.
Yes? I shall lead us. Let us end this.
They won't see me coming. Well, now I am the leader of the group.
I'm here. I'm flattered.
Stand together!
No voice.
I'm here. Follow me. Let's go! Keeping quiet.
I've got this. Quickly and quietly.
I'll lead the way. Death to our enemies. I'll go on ahead. Yeah? Leading the way.
Ha! Let's keep quiet.
I'm here. Leading the way.
They'll never know I'm here. Hey there. Watch and learn.
I'll teach you a lesson!
Easy does it.
Yes. Now I am the leader of the group. Keeping an eye out. Well, now I am the leader of the group.
Grab that one.
Let's go! Keeping quiet. Huh? Follow me. Let's go! Nice and slow. I'm flattered.
Yeah!
Quietly now.
What is it?
Psycho. Sorry, as it's That's the Pillars of Eternity spelling. Psycho Rodney. So I just got that name from like a meme that I saw. Like on Twitter. Psycho Rodney. So yeah. There, how about that? Let's call it Rodney. There we go. The caravan master finishes addressing the group, his bushy red moustache and sagging jowls quivering as if for emphasis.
Everybody stays close to the wagons, got it? Stay out of the woods, and beasts take you if you were planning a stroll through those ruins up there.
He nods toward a looming black mass on the hillside.
Whole area's crawling with hut-dwelling types who'd be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing. So mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks. Tonight, everybody stays put, and in the morning we'll get the path cleared. Gilded Vale's less than a day out. Understood?
At last, the caravan master turns to you, frowning as he looks you over.
Touch of the rumbling rot, could be. There's a stinging beetle round here, carries it. You'll be fine once it passes your innards. Unless you don't drink water, course. Which case you'll be dead in a day. There's a berry grows in these parts, small and pink, called a springberry. About the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the frontiersmen make a tea from it. Calms the insides. Should get you through the night. You might check around, see if you can find some. Meanwhile, I'll see if we can scare you up some water. I know you want to hunt before it gets much darker, but see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here.
He nods in your direction. Sparfle nods and slides the warm bow over his shoulder. Where would I find these berries?
They grow on a bush that's common round here, kind of funny looking. You'll know it when you see it. Doubt you'd have to go far off the road to find one.
What is in those ruins?
Nothing you won't see on half the hills of Air Glonfoth. Money to be made selling their knickknacks in Defiance Bay, if you don't mind getting stuck with Glonfoth and arrows now and again. They didn't build them, but I'll be the effigy if they don't watch them like a mother bear. Of course, all the ones around here have been ransacked 10 times over. Got nothing left worth half a pawn, so I hear.
Okay, so your character's attributes, skills, class, race, culture, and sex may all open up options for you in dialogue. These options are not necessarily superior to other responses, but give you a wider variety of choices to select from. It depends on their individual personality and attitude, how they respond. Okay. But who did build the ruins?
Got different names for them. Settlers called them Ingwithans. Nobody that liked them enough to stop them becoming ruins, tell you that much.
Is it dangerous out here?
Not if you hurry about your business, and not if the weather holds it.
There is concern in his tone, but he does not elaborate. What kind of weather do you get up here?
This time of year, rain mostly, and wind. But there's a different kind of wind out here time to time. Locals call it a beawick. Born out of the ether, the spirit's path. Never seen it myself, never cared to.
What are these huge rocks going up out of the ground?
They don't got Adra where you come from? Well, it just grows up out of the ground like this. Goes deep like tree roots. Some of it all the way to the heart of the world, you believe the stories. It's more like a shell than a proper rock. Easier to work if you're a mason. Got all kinds of strange properties. Seems to have some kind of life of its own. Dies if it gets dug up. Loses its luster. Folks think it probably grew at one point or another, but not these days. The soul butchers in Defiance Bay use it for different things. I've heard tell it can hold a man's soul, but I don't care to see it. Got enough to worry about without seeing something like that.
I'll go see about those berries then.
Hold on. Take someone with you. I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot, not like most of this lot. If you drop dead, I don't want to be looking for the body. Got a schedule to keep.
He He scans out the travellers, resting his eyes at length on a sturdy, armoured-clad woman who spent the journey's nights sleeping on even ground without a blanket or pillow.
Kalisha. Kalisha!
The woman looks up in her own time.
He needs to find some spring berries. Watch that he doesn't drop dead.
No promises.
What kind of guide says something like that?
Kind you can afford.
Don't listen to her. You're in good hands. And I pay too well, if anything. Off with you. Hayden should have supplies. See that you're equipped before you head out. We're in harsh country. Get your berries and hurry back. And if you get so much as a tickle of wind, you drop everything and you run. Something in the air tonight. If it's a Beawick, we'll shelter in the ruins. Hut dwellers be damned.
Of course.
Okay. So here we are. Save the game. It doesn't crash. Oh, those are my old characters there. Let's bring that dialogue box up a bit more. So, if I'll move myself here, that should do the trick. Yeah. So I think it's safe for me to put myself in one of these corners. So that's me down there. And that's them there. Hello.
Anyone need supplies? I've got sundries for sale.
I'll just go around looting things first.
I'll see it done.
Mechanics is your lockpick skill. Okay. Let's have a look. Saw glass green pillars appear as if they have sprung from the earth. Flickering fires, its shadows dancing within them. Roland's Cradle. So, let's save again. I must. I've got to delete my old saves because it's gonna be like this all the time. So. Exploration is key in Pillars of Eternity as you make your way through the Eastern Reach. The area map, okay.
I'll have your water soon enough. Stream's not going anywhere.
That's an area coming. Okay.
We shouldn't stray too far. Let's check by those outcroppings.
Okay. Our first combat. I'll probably have to change my things here. And of course it's attacking me. Right. So I'm going to command Kalisha to knock it down. And what have I got here? So I've got, first level spells, I've got 2 spells I can use. Let's hold on the spells for now. One of your characters is engaged in melee. The characters are engaged, they immediately stop moving. If they move again, they will provoke disengagement attack. They can't just call it an attack of opportunity, can they? Then again, I suppose, you know, calling it a disengagement attack it does make more sense. Your characters will also automatically engage characters when they initiate attacks against them with melee weapons. A party starting taking damage, they will lose endurance and health. The portrait will be able to follow the right. Alright, health in this game is one of the weirdest things, but I think once I get the hang of it, I'll be alright. So, my endurance and my health are 2 different things there. So I think, like, health is like your hit points for the fight. Your endurance is like your main thing. Yeah. So when you run out of health, you just get knocked out. When you run out of endurance, you die. Yeah. So I could use healing, but I'm not going to. Holy Radiance. Once per encounter, so we can use this because it's once every combat, so that's fine. Creates a real energy of holy energy. Gets a field of holy energy around the priest, burning any vessels. Oh, sorry, I'm covering it up, aren't I? So let's put me in this corner here. There we are. Because then I'm only covering up the combat log and whatnot. So, yeah. So that all good, right? Okay. So we can burn any vessels. I think like spirit creatures. The regenerator regeneration one of the rest. Doesn't matter. So yeah, so I'm gonna cast a spell. It's very exciting, isn't it?
As you wish.
So I've now got, so my endurance is filling up and my health, I've down taken too much health damage.
Yes.
This is it.
Scientist. Yes, I'm gonna say, that's the way I hear it. I learned to harness it to solve crimes. There's a demand for a lot of substances out on land. Spilling along, pursuing the knowledge promised by alchemy. Yeah. How does he happen to come here? Let's go with this one. My teacher was a fraud who cheated people out of hard-earned money. And of course, who's going to believe me? Them? Or a godlike of death, you know? Maybe the new setting will turn things around for you. Galicia breathes in her surroundings. It's been a long time since I've been this way. I always did like it. Lord Redrick's offer. Makes the gal think, I'll give him that. You here to settle like the rest of us? It's hard of us to pass up. No, I'm just passing through. I didn't give it much thought. I'll say passing through. I can't stay, please. That's usually the case with the big city just a little ways further up the same road. Where you headed? Nothing special, just spending up as much time as we did in resistance as my old life possible again. I gotta continue on the way to the city, see where it takes me. I'll play Wonder for a while. Galicia says, well, I couldn't judge you for that in half my life. Just watch yourself. You go too far off the beaten path. These lands are wild in more ways than one. Anyway, I'm wasting time here. My day will give me an airful. Let's be on our way. Are you here? Galicia sighs unerringly. Her eyes search the ground at her feet. My sister moved out of here some time back. She sent me a letter. She seemed worried, but that's how she always is. This time, though, she asked me to come out. That's got me a little worried. I haven't seen her in ages. Been doing guide work at Ixta Middle. But I'll do anything for her. She's, well, she's a much better woman than me. So I'm here and we'll see. Damer I've worked with before. He doesn't usually drive a route this way, but he's doing it for me. Say about yourself. Yeah, I've got simple needs. I like open skies and far horizons. I find work that lets me live that way. My family want us to. We started in the Darwood, but my parents ended up in the Living Lands. I got a brother in Rata and another in Adair. A sister in Gilded Vale. She's the only real homebody. You can tell me about Darwood. Not much for history. But from what I know, it used to be a part of the Adair Empire. Broke off after a war some years back. Locals here are feisty and that's how they like it. I've been out of touch, but I've been hearing weird kinds of things about it lately. People having trouble giving birth, I guess. A lot of them. We've been going on for years now, but Somehow it's getting worse. With an uneasy tremor in her voice, she adds, "I'll have to ask my sister more about it." You know, I wouldn't hold my breath if Sparkle's getting new water anytime soon. He knows what it feels like when he feels like it. We should check up on him first. Slip around a bit. As soon as you stand that way. Come on, let's get you water. So. If there are any options you'd like me to change, your viewing pleasure, please let me know, and I'll see if I can accommodate. See, one thing I like about Pillars of Eternity is like this is quite I wouldn't say an old game as such, but it's been out for a while and it looks as good today as it did then. Like the art style is incredible. I remember having this like on my ignored list on Steam once upon a time. Believe it or not, I was like, I did not like, the look of this game very much at all. And then I, fell in love with the style of game, and well, it all went from there.
What a surprise. This is recent. Not good.
What a surprise! Sparkle went hunting. At least he left his water skins. Come on. The comfort instincts. We've been here for days or longer. Now, you know me. I don't like to just immediately get on with things. No. Thoroughly explore. And if there's treasure, I want it. I just realised I got slow-mo active. That doesn't help, does it? How do I turn that off? Rest of the day it's... Let me find it here. Half speed, double speed, normal speed. Okay, trying to think what isn't taken. There we go, that's better. Okay. You crouch at the riverbank and dip your water skin into the cool water while Kalisha waits nearby, keeping watch. As you rise, you notice her look up sharply towards the tree line. Out of the trees emerges Sparkle, one of the guides, barely discernible in the dim moonlight. He no longer carries his bow, and there's a strangeness to his gait. His stride wobbly as he moves forward toward you, with laboured breath.
Sparkle, are you all right?
Sparkle's toe catches on a rock, and he collapses forward in a heap. The feathered shaft of an arrow planted between his shoulders like an enemy flag.
Ambush!
Okay. So we'll take on one at a time. Oh dear. Yes, I'm going to report my second wind. Ah, I'm knocked out. Great. Okay, try and knock him down. Gears at him.
We have to get back to camp.
What is it?
So, that was a good next attempt. So yeah, as a priest, I really should be using my spells. I might have to use them soon.
What is it?
Okay, right, now we can use the spells. What have we got? Halt. Blessing. Well, let's get into melee range first. Right now, let's cast the spell. So we're going to create a nice shield of faith. Boost our radiance, heal us up. Yep. So we're going to flank. Yeah, so a basic understanding of tactics does help. Let's take all that stuff. Let's move on. Okay. All around you lie the massacred remains of the other travellers, peppered with arrows and knife hilts, splayed and bug-eyed and filthy. Galatia puts the back of her left hand to her mouth as if to ward off some poisonous vapour. A handful of dark figures stands above the fallen, treading on limbs and backs of heads, jerking their axes from bodies as if from half-split logs. One of them, towering and severe with a thick black beard tasseled with knots, holds a wet blade at the neck of the man he recognises Hernan, the last of the caravan left standing. Lay down your arms, trespasser. Do not forfeit this man's life, for you will lose. So we can be diplomatic, honest, diplomatic, passionate, and rational. Why have you done this? You have trespassed in places of which no mortal man is worthy. You are trespassers and plunderers all. We will see this outrage avenged. So I say again, lay down your arms. Don't trust them. They're ready to kill us all. Yeah, listen to this. Well, you know, listen to reason. So we can use our might, intellect, athletics. Or intellect again. You can kill him, but you might as well be killing yourself. Intellect 15. Judging by the string of animal teeth around your neck, I am guessing you are worshippers of Galawain. If Galawain told you to stop protecting these ruins, would you? The man frowns and motions as if to swing his axe. Helen winces, but the blow never comes. So the man cocks his head, intrigued. Of course, but he would not. It's by the command of all the gods that we accept this charge. How do you know? Because it's consistent with their beliefs, or because it's what you were told? Unless it's already been known to my people. I see. And what of Galawain's edict that weakness and age must be purged by youth and strength? You think Galawain will want some mouldy, crumbling stones to survive long enough after their builders have turned to dust? As nostrils flare as he fumes. Would not. He told us otherwise. I'm sure he did. Just not you personally. Well, why should that stop you from killing innocents? Distracted, the man's grip falters on his axe handle, and he nearly fumbles it, affording Aeron the moment he needs to dodge out of his swing, which comes too late. Howling with rage, the man charges you instead. So, as you're there, yeah, let's bum rush the leader. And why not? Let's use some spells. So these are, we're now going to reduce the accuracy of the enemy.
No prisoner!
There we go. Your enemy lies dead, lies supine on the ground, unable to rise. His companions are now silent amongst the other dead. His breath comes in wheezing, fitful gasps. He looks not at you, but at the sky above. Oh, give us! Barely audible beneath his choked sighs, a whisper of wind stirs in the air. At this, the man's eyes roll black as he closes them. Good. Good. The gods are just. A queer smile crosses his face. I am ready. The wind begins to swell, whipping around the camp, electric and volatile, upending pots and rattling tents like an angry spirit. You can feel it begin to seep beneath your skin. Where it pierces you, it feels as though it is rending you apart from within. Seated against the wagon wheel, amidst the howling maelstrom, slashed across the chest and bow, Adima's body stares. With a great effort, he raises his sagging head, his eyes barely open. He looks starrily at you.
Inside! Run!
So there. Straining against a gale that threatens to pull you off your feet with every step, you set your hands in the worn folds of withered rock and set about pulling yourself up the precipice. With a last burst of energy before your arms give out, you swing yourself up the ledge. Aeron trails behind, slowed by entry and delayed by early hesitation. As it nears the face of the rocks, one of the fallen attackers, who have been feigning death, lunges for Aeron and topples him onto rocky ground. Restrained, Aeron lashes out against his fatigued assailant, but struggles to break his hold. They are close to you. Despite the wind from your position, if you were to throw your weapon at the attacker, you would have a good chance of hitting your mark. Your aim is true, and the hit jars. Aeron loose. Lurching to its feet, Aeron clambers at the base of the rocks. As he nears the top, however, the wind flares, pulling him sideways and tearing one of his hands free. But diving out onto the hard rock, you manage to catch a hold of it. Securing his other hand, you pull with waning strength, as it feels as though your arms will be jerked from their sockets. They hold on just long enough for Aeron to set his feet and join you on the trembling ledge. There is a deep resonance to the swelling wind now. You feel it in the rocks beneath your feet and inside the cavity of your own chest, as though it would shake the marrow from your bones. Each new gust menacing as old stones before you, loosening connections and settling balances. As you dart beneath the old archway, the entire portal begins to fall beneath its own weight. We enter the dungeon. The ruins.
Of course.
Was that?
A Bewick. Had to be.
Then we're lucky to be alive.
And we're the only ones.
We can't stay here. There could be another collapse. We're not getting out that way anyway. Let's get further in.
Sorry about that. So, let's save the game. While that's doing, just want to check something. Oh, never mind. Tapping out does not help in this instance. As of now, Call of Duty Black Ops is only just Cold War has only just downloaded up to 24%. Things are not looking good for playing this game anytime soon. But hey, and how long have we been recording anyway? 1 hour and 10 minutes. Okay, we've got time.
That should be far enough. But what now?
We look for another way out. Storm has to die sometime.
The Glenfathans attacked us. Those will be those hut dwellers that Emma warned you about. Look to be the fangs of our Gallowayne, who are the twitchiest of the lot. They go ruin to ruin looking for fights with colonists. Poor Dema. I think he half expected this, until we lost the main road. Well, our father said we trespassed in the ruins. I don't believe that. Dema would never allow it. But as much as the fangs are hotheads, Glenfathans don't attack without being provoked. Either they saw something I got the wrong idea, or she glances down at the passage beyond. Well, there's looters in here with us. That's not something we need right now. What about everyone else with that caravan? Kalusha's lips pressed together and her chin rumbles. Her voice is faint. The wheels got a hold of him now. He looks up. God should grant them better luck in their next lives. What happened out there? Kalusha shakes her head. Windstorm. They were kind, they only get here in Glenfath. Not too many people live through them, so it's hard to know what's true. The Glenfathan word is Biowick. To them it's the god's way of reaping the souls of the land that couldn't find their own way out. But they'll take the living soul as soon as the dead one. Still got yours? You don't seem too upset about all this. Alicia looks you in the eye, a volatile current running beneath her voice. Maybe you just don't know me enough to know what upset looks like. And maybe I've seen worse too. Seen worse and kept walking on. Because there's nothing else to be done. Because there's other people who you care about who still need you. Let's get going. A trembling, sickly creature emerges from the dark, clutching his spear. Knobby elbows and thin ribs show you its scaly flesh, but you recognize it as a sorip. It pushes you cautiously, breathing in ragged sighs. So, something that Pillars of Eternity does, and it can get a bit aggravating at times, is they take... And I know what they tried to do. They really did try to pay homage to a lot of, like, Celtic or Celtic, forgive my pronunciation, of like mythology. They were really looking like Irish and Scottish mythology and folklore and things like that. And trying to get all manner of different ways of speaking and naming things. And don't get me wrong, like that, like I've always said that like Obsidian and Josh Sawyer is like a method developer. He goes out and really looks into this stuff and fully researches it. But can we not just call this thing a kobold? A Zorip? What's the etymology of that? It's a kobold. It's a little dragon. Yeah? A little dragon thing, you know? It's born of dragons. It's just kobold, not a Zorip. I don't mind, it's just that it's just one of those things that like it pops up a lot in this game. And sometimes it can be hard to follow it because of that. Raise your arms. Still. I gotta be benevolent. I know it's against my god's tenets, but still. Sort recoils, fingers wrapped tightly around a spear. Oh dear. Is this fast? Is this well? So, back away and leave it.
Someone else has been here. We should move.
So my health isn't great. Open up my inventory. So you'll notice a couple of things as well. So I have... so these are from DLC. So I got a giant miniature space piglet. This tiny Titanic pig has an otherworldly appearance that seems to be at odds with its endearing behaviour. It follows you dutifully and requires nothing in return save companionship. It's basically a companion, a little pet that just follows you around. That's from like the premium edition or whatever. Got a ring that I shall wear. Have I got anything that might heal me? I've got endurance. I've taken those. I've taken those. Oh yes, I'm also unarmed because I threw my weapon as well. I do specialise in maces, and I'll have a shield as well. I shouldn't really be wearing much armour. So I think I'm pretty much good to go.
Look at the tiles. What are those symbols?
Scouting mode.
Never know I'm here. Worth a look.
Hehe. So I think there is actually like a code to all this, but if we just keep disarming all these traps, I just get loads of XP.
Found something.
There we go. That was good, wasn't it? And we're nearly leveled up. Just because I just disarmed the traps. Yeah. I do like trap disarmament and stuff like that. I love picking trap disarmament. It's like I love rogues. Like mechanically, I love rogues. Yeah. Tattered journal. This small folio is torn into several places and has blood soaked in several of the sheets. One later entry is still legible, however. I can't believe my luck. A few rounds of dice and I got my hands on a genuine Ingrithian artifact. The fellow who had it said it was a pretty nothing. As far as he's concerned, he's not willing to go digging in some ruins, but he's right about this gem leading to a hidden treasure. And that's worth sneaking past some painted elves. I'll head to Sir Calendlis in the morning. It's just a matter of finding this relief he's talking about. Okay. Well, I'll just take all that.
Wait, do you hear that?
There's a hostile thing down there. I don't like that. Let's not go down that way just yet. Let's keep exploring. What's through here?
That roundish symbol. I'm pretty sure I saw it on one of the tiles back there.
This mural must be ancient, yet the colours are still bright and vivid. It shows the procession of the Ingrithians from all the Kith races, of elf, orlan, dwarf and human. They walk among pillars similar to the ones that span this chamber, each one topped with a flame. A curling symbol is inscribed to this pillar. And the brazier sits at the base. It could be lit, if it means. Do I want to light the braziers? Probably not. Well, it seems like a bad idea. Oh no. Ooze.
What you need?
Oh yes, that's my health bar.
Well,
Oh no, am I actually dead? No, but
well,
oh, oh my god.
yes.
Oh, my character's so weak. I mean, I'm just bad at this
Where'd
in
that
general.
slime come from?
A viscous viscous slick or something dark and tar-like runs down this wall. The shape of some bulges the ooze. It suggests that something lies beneath, but you can't tell what. Use your water skin to clear off the ooze. You rinse the ooze away as revealing an intricate relief of a man's face. The sunburst surrounding it has chipped away in places, but the details of his head, from the tight curls of hair to the ridges of his pointed ears, still showcase a remarkable craftsmanship. One eye socket is empty, a gem fills the other. Place the gem in. The chamber begins to rumble, stray rocks dancing off the tile floor. Finally, a large section of the wall goes away. Oh, God. Right, I'm staying back.
Well,
Right, you two can deal with that. I'm gonna stay here.
What you need?
I'm just gonna look pretty. Never mind, I'm dead. Like, I'm properly dead this time. Jesus Christ. Oh god. Like, I'm so sorry that I'm actually bad at this game.
of course.
Those symbols. Just like the tiles.
I think I might just need a ranged weapon, to be honest. Have we got one? Oh yes, of course. So what's recommended? That's a slow weapon. I can deal with slow. Right.
What is it?
So I don't like those just yet.
What is it?
There we go. That's better.
Well,
Where'd that slime come from?
Oh, damn.
what is it?
So yeah, cloak of protection. Nice. I'll have all that. Where's the cloak of protection gone? Hello. Cloak of protection, please. You know what I'd like more games to have? Am I wearing it? Someone else wearing it? search functions. Search options, search inventory, that sort of thing. Where the hell is this cloak gone? It's not in the stash, is it? Oh yeah, it is. There we are. There, okay. So, cloak protection. Fortitude +5, of reflex +5, of will +5. I like as well that it's a neck slot as well. That's pretty cool. So. Let's light the beacons. Okay, and does this reveal anything? And does it take us anything here? Does it do anything here? No, nothing seems new. All seems about the same. Alright, let's return. Yeah, the speed modes in this are a godsend. They really are. Because it's like, well, there's one thing I didn't like about Baldur's Gate, is like, you've got like the boots of speed on one of your characters, like on your main character, and like they're running, like, they're going like the clappers. And yet, everyone else is kind of like lagging behind and you can't go to the next room. Until you've done that. Yep. Blind it. And you knock it down. Wow. That was interesting.
That looks weak.
Okay. Use a hammer and chisel to weaken the wall. We can push on it. I'll push it myself. I got the might. With 16 might, yeah. You push the wall with all your might, and the crack begins to spread. Finally, you feel the ancient masonry give away. Feels a circular room ahead. Ooh.
Well?
Let's have a look and see what's inside here. I have forgotten how much I missed this game.
I could scout ahead, see what's around the corner.
Yeah, this'll do. Wow, okay. So one of the cool things as well is like you have the bestiary or the cyclopedia, and every time you kill something up to a certain point, you actually learn its stats and things like this. Like for example, ooze. You know about the oozes here? The Skulder. Skulders are large mammalian creatures that dwell in caves in total or near total darkness. As a result, they have poor vision and rely on their sense of hearing to navigate and find their prey. The protrusions and hairs in their ears allow them to detect airflow, which is key in telling direction in an underground environment. They communicate through screeches and clicks, and use these vocalizations in a form of echolocation. They're communal creatures, and will nest and raise their young together. Nice. It's pretty cool. I like that, you know, the Vistara is cool. It lends itself to that idea of like, you know, you have to encounter it to understand it.
They'll never know I'm here. feel that. There's a draft coming through that wall. I don't hear any sign of that storm either.
So we use some stealth attacks there.
What is it?
So that's the bridge we've come across. But I still want to have a look around. You can give the skull to me to the creature. Zorp's nostrils flare at the scent of fresh meat, and its eyes dart between you and the food. It creeps towards the prey, shoving the spear into your grip and snatching the meat with both hands at the last moment. Its gullet quivers as it devours the flesh in noisy chomps. And that allows us then to come here. So it continues to nod. Okay. Good. And we've now got the Zorp spear. I think. Yeah, Zorp spear. Not bad. If you wanted it. Oh dear. That's not good. I kick its ass. Yeah, blind it. It's got 8 eyes, I gotta hit one of them. I'm shooting, aren't I? Nice. Look at that.
Yes.
One of my favourite weapons in video games is a torch. Flaming torch is just wonderful. That's as large as chickens struggling in the web. Rapier, bloodstone. Helm, but I can't wear helmets. Right, for no reason at all. I'm just gonna move this stuff to here. We also have our big followers as well. Look at him. Wee 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 wee. Look at him go. Woo. Yeah. So he's like a paid companion that you can have as a bonus. For a better edition of the game. Save the game, because I think we've just about seen everything in that cave. Uh-huh. Older roadman. 4 figures stand before an otherworldly apparatus. An ancient structure of chiseled aedra and metallic veins, ominous and looming like a silent observer. Standing motionless in their midst is what appears to be a human body, colourless as stone or ash. The other figures gaze upon it in what might be contemplation. From your vantage point, you are well obscured from their view. The figure closest to the machine stands out amongst them. A thick grey beard frames a face otherwise hidden beneath the metallic mask. His faded robes are embroidered with a runic language unlike anything you have ever seen, and when he wears and he wears a strange black headdress with two protrusions that jut out just like wings of some malevolent creature.
Oathbinder, bear witness, and see this man has kept his word true to his last breath, full to his blood's last drop. Guide his soul, queen that was, and regard it among your favored. Let his life by the key be his confession. Let his death by the key be his absolution. May he walk the world ever free of the crushing weight of the book.
Now, if you don't get any of that, don't worry. You might understand it later.
Your brother has done his part, and you have seen the power of his contribution. I will accept no further hesitation from the rest of you. In the sight of the queen that was, will you fulfill the oath? Will you take your place beside your brother in the endless esteem of her memory that is without flaw? Step forth, and be assured of the great worth of your life's course.
So this here is one of the many Inquithian machines. For an instant, the apparatus goes quiet and the air is still. And all at once, it erupts with a concussive surge. Light floods your vision, and you are knocked into the ground. Your head snaps back as you land, and the pain wells into your back of your skull, washing your last thoughts away into the black, unconscious void. You open your eyes to a different place. Another time. You stand in a circular room, grand and domed, its walls lined with age-rat and trimmed with copper. The style is ancient, but the chamber is unweathered. At the far end, a great pillar of Ada pierces the floor from below, its shimmering texture giving the illusion of boundless depth. Encircling the pillar is an apparatus much like one you have just seen, but immense and multifaceted and intertwined. Your thoughts are yours and not yours, and they seem to exist before you think them, and they are all questions, pressing questions, troubling questions, questions that must be answered or... At the base of the pillar now, you see a man with a thick grey beard and ceremonial robe, crowned with a strange ornamental headdress. You know this man. You are walking towards him now at a pace that is hurried while not trying to appear so. You have something you want to ask him, one question above all, and the question spins madly in your mind. You awaken to find your malaise is broken, only to be replaced with something far more concerning. Faint whispers are audible at the edge of your hearing, like a ringing in your ears that does not subside. Movement flits in your periphery. When you turn to look, you can see no sign of whatever it was. You find your gaze regularly darting this way and that, in a voluntary paranoid tick. If this is a sickness, it may be dangerous to go without treatment for long. The figures of the machine stand frozen in place, flesh and blood replaced by cinders and ash. The man that led them there is nowhere to be seen. Herdan and Kalisha lie bloody on the uneven cobbles, their bodies twisted and unnaturally in death. You are alone and far from help. Gilded Vale may be your best hope for receiving treatment before things get worse. I am fatigued, but I also have enough experience to level up.
Yes.
So, thus begins our journey as the Watcher. Oh, you can also create notes as well, which is nice. Very important feature. Having your own journal. So how do I level up? Do I do it when I sleep? Would help if I just... I can try to level them up. Ah, there. So... Hope I'm not correct there. Let me move into the center. We can see what we've got. So, we can now use our points. We've got 6 points to advance in things. So, I'm going to go for mechanics to get past easy locks. I'm going to put a point in stealth. I'm going to put a point in survival. I just want to make sure I've got at least one. Athletics. Or law. I like law, so I'm going to go for law. And then level 2, we get to choose a talent. So this is interesting. So we get to choose our spells. We get to choose a spell if we want to. Or we can enhance something else. So veterans recovery. That's veterans recovery. And we get we heal ourselves in combat, which is pretty good. So that's what I want to go for later. Untroubled Faith, I want to go for, I think. The priest's ability to inspire becomes more than just a sum of his or her actions, negating reputations that negatively influence Holy Radiance. Because I have chosen a dialogue choice that would go against it. So now... I think I'll go for Untroubled Faith. But all the talents are Brilliant Radiance. So these ones here, so this, and this affect one spell. And this is like your core spell for your class. So Holy Radiance, all priests have access to Holy Radiance. And it manifests itself differently depending on your class. So I'm a Death Priest, so I get the Pallid Hand. Meaning that I get a bonus with... I get bonuses of accuracy with maces and greatsword. I go for Untroubled Faith. So I don't get the negative effects of being nice to people, basically. So yeah. And that's it for leveling up. Oh. Review the statistics. I shall. Move back into that corner there. There we go. So... here's our stats. That's how much experience we've got. So we're on our way to level 3 already. Our constitution is lowered on account of our bruised ribs, which isn't good. You can see if you want to read them. Vessel flesh. Yes, we're just going to loot these people and just take their ashes. Yeah. This structure, this massive structure is formed of stone, adra, and copper and is covered in strange glyphs. The air around it vibrates with an unusual energy. Just pick out these plants for alchemy. So we can go to Velwood. We're going to go to Velwood first. We've got 6 hours to get there. So although the game tells you that, time in this game doesn't really matter. Time doesn't really matter that much. Very few quests. I think there's only one quest that you have to actually pay attention to the time with. Passage of time doesn't really affect too much. Oh, let's have a look at our spell, Holy Radiance. Holy Radiance, is modified by how well as our heritage. Obsinasis. Doesn't actually seem to say how much it's affected by, but okay. You are not hallucinating something to just run by there. Oh no, this ain't good. I've got to fight. I'm on my own. I've only got one spell I can use. Let's try and reduce their accuracy if I can.
Beyond seek.
Aha! I've defeated you. Yay! Woo! Blasson. Go inside and drywood Blasson. Is fashioned of sunweed. Liquor boiled sap from Glenfath and trees. It's owned to lend a sense of heightened land to users. There's a feel of yes, I say I've got bruised ribs. I haven't actually done 2-5. I actually won my first fight on my own. Yeah. Yeah. So I might have to come back that way. But right now I kind of just want to get to safety if I can. Because I think that way there's going to be like other outlaws. Come on.
Hello.
This man appears to be hurriedly dismantling his camp in quick, jerky movements. He looks up as you approach, his expression tense and drawn. Greetings, he says, a little breathless. Your way south, is it? He wipes his brow, turning to face you. The sooner you clear these woods, the better, I think. What's your hurry? The man looks down at the tent, and then at his hands. I need to follow my own advice. Came out here to hunt, made a friend of mine. I would bring a stag home and eat something other than bread for once. Came upon a bear instead. Great monstrous thing, and apparently he didn't make it. I don't know what I'll tell his wife. In this case, this forest always could be a friend. I'm heading home before I take something else. What happened to your friend? We didn't see it coming. Hunton's voice shakes a little as he speaks. We were following a stag. Apparently, he saw something out in the brambles. And then he went tearing after it. We all but stumbled into the cave. Poor barely didn't stand a chance. The bear was on top of him before we knew what was happening. The beasts will take what they will, I suppose. And this time, Galloway's favour fell upon the bear. In any case, this forest already cost me a friend. Who are you? Name's Anton. Born and raised in Gilded Vale. Haven't had a spot of luck since. Luckier than Pearly, I suppose. Where did you find this bear? A cave. The way's up that way. I wouldn't seek it out if I were you. It's a great brute of a beast. I hate to hear that bear took another life. I hate to hear that bear took another life. Northwest of Grain's Grasp, south of Gilded Vale. The grass is flying beneath the wagon's wheels. Barrels are covered as potatoes are squashed. I don't want to come across any more outlaws right now. There's a wolf there. I don't want to mess with a wolf on my own. So I'm going to try and make it to town, get some companions with me, and then maybe head back this way and rest up. So these are the locations as well in the world. So it's a kind of small map, but that's quite appropriate for like a spiritual successor to Baldur's Gate. Yeah. Like the old Baldur's Gates are very different to like Baldur's Gate 3 that we know now. I love the artwork on the loading screens, I really do.
These will find us dead on our feet.
Oh, what a charming sight.
You must be one of the new settlers. Welcome to Gilded Vale. You'll be pleased to know that we've had some recent vacancies here.
He glances at the gnarled, leafless monstrosity of a tree next to him. Do you welcome everyone this way? The only answer you hear is the buzzing of flies off the tree.
Of course, we'll need to make some an infant born without a soul, of course. Whatever your, but keep out of.
We're gonna have to reload a save.
Listen.
But it's not ruin the mood. Right, sorry about that. I just want to make sure that we, yeah, I like to make sure that I'm not skipping dialogue and that we're all seeing all the dialogue and not misclicking.
As you will.
You will come to learn that I'm a compulsive clicker. I press space and left click all the time, and right click. It's a horrible habit. Right, I'll pack it in soon.
You must be one of the new settlers. Welcome to Gilded Vale. Of course, we'll need to make some inquiries first. The inestimable Lord Radric VII has taken great pains to insulate our town from Widewind's legacy. Have you ever sired a Hollowborn child?
What are you talking about?
An infant born without a soul, of course. Lord Radric has made it his first priority to eliminate this scourge from our village. I should warn you, stranger. Here in Gilded Vale, we have a special place for dissidents, charlatans, and those who would hide a curse in our midst. His lordship's wife is with child and due any day now. Without his approval, I shan't be able to find you a permanent settlement. It will have to wait until after the birth. We can continue our interview then, after the bell tolls from Radric's hold to signal my lord's new heir. In the meantime, you can find temporary accommodations at the inn just southwest of here.
I've got a strange feeling ever since a close call with a Barwick. Anyone in town who could help. You said something about Hollowborn and Widewind's legacy before. Blinks. Oh, I forget that you foreigners do not have this curse in your homelands. The Hollowborn have been a scourge on up on the Darwood for almost 15 years now. That was his voice to a whisper. Children born without souls. He shakes his head. Pitiable, dumb things that breathe. Barely. We do not truly live. Some say the Hollowborn are a disease. Some say they are a punishment from the gods. He raises his empty hands. In truth, no one knows, but they began spreading after the Saints' War, and so the name Widewind's legacy stuck in honor of that foul, blasphemous pretender. He shakes with vitriol. His voice shakes with vitriol. Lord Radric's decrees may seem strict at times, but he has our best interests at heart. He nods. Whenever I think of the Hollowborn, the image of, and I know saying don't do something to someone on the internet is futile, because they're going to end up doing it. But the image of the Hollowborn, the babies born without souls, the image that comes to mind is the Harlequin babies. And I'm like, it's not a pleasant sight. It's tragic. No. I've been having feelings, strange feelings. I've been feeling strange ever since. Whatever. Yeah.
Whatever your problem, it sounds like a matter for an animancer. However, the only animancer in Gilded Vale isn't in any condition to speak. Consider yourself fortunate. After she failed Lord Raderick, we saw to it that she wouldn't profit from the misplaced trust of others. A bad cure is often worse than none at all. But if you're set on finding a bottle of troll piss or a dead Audra pebble to rub on your forehead, you're welcome to check her pockets. A little corpse stink is nothing when you're digging for shit. My advice, however, is to be satisfied that you escaped and leave it at that.
We'll learn about animancy later, it's a big part of it. But basically it's like, animancy is like the understanding of souls. It's like the science of souls. Before I got here, I saw several people conducting a strange ceremony near some ruins. Regards you carefully. You wouldn't mind where you mention that trespassing on Gwithian ruins is illegal, not to mention dangerous. You probably saw someone attempting some new ritual to appease the gods. People try anything these days. Berath have mercy. We certainly have. I don't think so. They just as they finished as a biowick. He polishes his spectacles on his sleeve. If you'd been that close to a biowick, you wouldn't be standing there.
Keep out of...
Excuse me.
Listen.
2 tolls. Let that be the last.
3. Gods have mercy.
It seems your arrival is ill-timed. 3 bells toll only for the death of a Raderick. I fear Lord Raderick's heir is lost, or else Hollowborn, and so lost all the same. You should tread carefully. Circumstances have changed a great deal.
What happened? He shrugs one bony shoulder. I know. I will know more details when the messengers arrive. A vague as childbirth, perhaps. But that is not your concern. What do you mean? You come to us at a time of mourning. The legacy has struck at the heart of Gilded Vale. Our efforts to redeem ourselves in the eyes of Berath must be redoubled. He sets a steady gaze on you. Does this affect the Lord's offer to new settlers? I can be sure of nothing right now. I would advise you get some rest. The inn, or a stable for all I care. Find me afterwards. I will know more soon enough. Farewell. So, you've arrived in town, and the lord of this land has had a child born. Perhaps. Well, perhaps the child has been born and died. Or perhaps someone else has died. Something about Lord Roderick. He comes from a line of nobles who have defended these lands since the Aedir times. Roderick II was an early supporter of the Direwooden independence during the Revolution, and the current Lord's father perished during the Saints' War. Hollowborn began appearing in the Direwood shortly after the war's end. Lord Roderick has taken it upon himself to purge the curse from Gilded Vale. His measures have seemed more severe, but necessary. Unfortunately, it may not have been enough if the bells were an indication. The Saints' War? Aedia's most egregious example of man's madness. 15 years ago, the people of Rid Soralis decided the Wide One, the living saint, was the literal incarnation of the god Eothas. Urgent wrinkles his pinched nose. This supposed saint took it upon himself to liberate the Direwood, supposedly from allegiances to less worthy gods, but I've never known an army to conquer a land for its people's own good. The war lasted about a year, but you can guess what that year did to the worship of Berath and the Direwood. Lord Raedric's forebears had all the Earthosians, but after his father fell defending us from those fanatics, he personally saw to it that the Temple of Berath here in town was shut down. It points to a few ruined walls near the tree. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. It's important that everyone in Gilded Vale understand our rules. Let's know more about Gilded Vale. Our frontier village, as are most settlements in the Direwood. Gilded Vale hasn't grown since its establishment in the colonial days. In the last 15 years of our population shrink further. It takes in the ramshackle houses of half-fallen fences, hence our recruitment of fresh settlers. Why has Gilded Vale's population been shrinking? Whiterun's legacy, of course. Many women have had difficulty bearing healthy children of late. A few years ago, Lord Roderick decreed that no mothers of Hollowborn are to be allowed in Gilded Vale. His mouth tightens into a firm line. His lordship dealt swiftly with the objectors. It may be harsh, but if its purchases of the scarce, is it not worth it? See about those ruins behind the tree. That's what's left of the Temple of Berath. His lips pucker. Lord Roderick forbade the worship of the dead god after the Saints' War. It's been abandoned for almost 15 years, but there are plans to rededicate to Berath, the god of life and death. My god. Enough about Gilded Vale. And I think we're just nearly ready to wrap up.
Were you looking for someone in that tree? I could introduce you.
Here we have one of the funniest fuckers in gaming. Love his sword. Looking for anyone who can help me feel better. Don't ready to talk about your dad. I don't need any help. He gives an understanding nod as he takes a long drag from his pipe. My condolences. He exhales and turns his attention away, wishing the village around him. Welcome to our lovely village. I haven't just screwed up my relationship with him, has I? Oh, it's just the temple is cursed. Oh, I can just go around this way, can I? Yep. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this man's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. So in Pillars of Eternity, you are the Watcher. And you get to peer into people's souls. And this is a mechanic that has some controversy because people like this have their souls written by Kickstarter backers. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. You know, it's the fans writing whatever they want, you know. So in Thalion's soul, there is thus. You see a pennant waving tall and sluggish in the wind, a rising sun embroidered on the banner, the vanguard of a small troop of paladins. The atmosphere is buoyant, if restrained, and the armour has not yet been tarnished by the elements. This expedition is fresh, young, filled with zest and zeal. At their head stands a commander, awkward in full armour, but determined in step. Despite the excitement of his fellows as he does not smile, there's a twist to his mouth, his countenance grim. He throws up a hand, halting his troop. Silence falls among them, revealing a dark thunder deep and low. He orders them to ready their weapons are spread out. Eyes dart from horizon to horizon, necks twisting to the source of the sound. In the distance, dust and lightning rise from the ground as Stygian clouds race towards them overhead. The soldiers stand, only the staccato movement of their breaths betraying their nerves. The commander closes his eyes, calling a blessing down on his troop. Invigorated, invincible, they wait as the enemy draws closer, poised to attack. And that's it. You can peer into people's souls. It doesn't really actually do anything. It's just thematic. Alright, that would be a boon for the crops. You see 4 people gathered by the door to the inn. Their raised voices and chopping gestures suggest an argument reaching its climax. The first figure raises his hand for calm. His face is partially obscured by a hood, but his height and stature suggest an elf.
I meant no offense. Let's put this matter to rest over a round, shall we? My treat.
Hoping to soothe our pride with a few Adira coppers, eh? We don't need your coin.
Adira, not a deer. My apologies. Everyone calm down. Whatever this is about, I'm sure it's an overreaction. One of the other men glares at the hooded elf. His eyes are red from drink, but his gaze is focused. We're humble folk, but we're not fools. Not like he thinks, mocking us worldly shelters in our village. We don't take that kind of talk from foreigners, especially not Adirans.
Go on. Say it again. I'm itching for an excuse.
Why, you're itching for the kindling touch of your sister, you cocksfeather!
I'll cut that barrel-licking tongue out of your head.
This is a misunderstanding. I didn't say whatever it is you think I said. We've nigh quarrel.
That's where you're wrong.
I don't think attacking was such a good idea. This isn't necessary. Would you rather be drinking inside than out here arguing? Let's go now. The 3 drunks scowled you. And why is that? Because you'll have to deal with me. If someone's baiting you, as obviously as he is, it's generally wisest to walk away. They look at each other. One of the men gives the other 2 a warning shake of his head before turning to you. We're done for now. But this one better watch his step around here, because we're not going anywhere. With a final scowl at the elf, he turns to leave. As the 3 stumble away, the elf turns to you. The tension almost gone from his smooth face.
Not quite how I hoped to get to know the neighbors. Thank you for your timely assistance with that awkward situation.
Glad I could help.
Courtesy is a rare pleasure in these parts. Though your accent suggests that you are no more local than I.
He strains his hood, and you notice that the remains of the fraying embroidery on his gloves. His boots are caked with the dirt of many months' travel, but the leatherwork beneath is steady and fine.
Well, I suppose introductions are in order after that little fiasco. Aloth Corvisor, at your service.
Tell me about yourself.
I'm a wizard by training, and an adventurer by necessity. I was born in the Seathwood, part of the mainland of the Adir Empire, and both of my parents served the nobility, which afforded me an education for which I am grateful. However, there were no open positions in those houses, and so I decided to seek new means in a new land.
Got about 10 minutes.
And how exactly did you come to be here?
I was travelling with a caravan, but we separated near some ruins.
In Gwithan ruins? Well, those can be dangerous places during the best of times, which these are not. In half the locals would arrest you for trespassing, and the rest would kill you outright. I'm curious, what exactly did you find there?
Stoicism I do need for my spells, I'm gonna go for that. Man must have his secrets. Very well. What are you doing in Gildavale?
Excellent question. I came looking for fresh air and cheap land. Instead, the magistrate gave me directions to the inn and a story about the local lord's expectant wife. But I take it that's a familiar tale.
And you? I think we're an expert on souls.
Indeed. The local lord has searched far and wide for similar specialists. And he has rid himself of them almost as desperately.
Just how did you manage to get across those three drunks?
I'm afraid that was a matter of misunderstandings and mistranslations. It doesn't help that people in these parts remember their war with Adir like it was yesterday.
You did make a rather lewd suggestion regarding one of the arresters and his own sisters. Ah, that. He clears his throat and adjusts his sleeves. As I tried to tell them, they misheard me. Happens all the same. I was all too easy after a few pints. The accent doesn't help. I heard the same thing. For just a moment, he looks as if he's about to say something else. His expression brightens with mischief before he can speak. He forces a tight smile, biting his lip so hard he expects to see blood. Finally, his face relaxes, and he shakes his head. I should speak more clearly next time. My apologies. You don't exactly look like a settler.
Begging your pardon, but neither do you. Yet, circumstances can find a person in the strangest of places. As should I, given recent events. It's just as well. I've had enough of the watered wine and lumpy beds at the inn. They say even the owner tired of the place. Just up and left one day. It explains quite a lot about the upkeep. Perhaps I could join you. I could use a change of scenery, and I find it's better to travel in numbers.
So do I. Let's go then.
Excellent. I shall follow you.
Let's go to the inn. And I'll just save the game. We'll rest up. We'll see how long we can go.
Hail, traveler.
Oh, greetings and welcome to the Black Hound Inn. The innkeeper bows her head curtly. Please sit where you'd like. Would you like a drink or a room? We have two available at the moment. I'm afraid we can't offer much in the way of a good meal today, unless you're fond of cold porridge. Let's know more about the Black Hound. Really? Well, let me see. The actual building's been here for years. But the Black Hound's fairly new. We get a lot of new faces in here too. Yeah, than we used to, I'll admit. I used to work the tables naturally until the old owner up and left. I'm really sure what happened to him. He left his poor hound behind. That's the name, see? The Black Hound. He's sitting upstairs, pining after him. Poor old girl. Place ended up in my hands somehow. We're very own inn. A lot of hard work involved, but it's been worth it so far. Will they serve porridge? Ele looks at you and shakes his head quickly. It isn't by choice, I assure you. We used to serve some of the finest meals in the trial, but we had a damnable run of luck is all. I've seen a bad season for the crops and we're running low on supplies. I sent Tenfirth up north to stock up. Tenfirth's our cook, you see, and asked for the good roast, but it's been days since he was supposed to return, and we haven't seen any good signs of him. He sighs again. I've only just taken over from the last owner myself. I don't know what to do if he doesn't turn up. I could try and find him for you. Really? Her face brightens. We're grateful for you if you did. He was travelling through the Vale, but it's probably nothing. A broken wheel, maybe, but I do worry. You see him home safely, and I'll think everyone here in the village will sing your praises. Nobody much likes my porridge. Let's see what you have for sale. Nothing for me, thanks. Of course, we're running a little short on goods these days, but we ought to have more soon. So you can buy... So what money have we got? Okay, so I wouldn't mind having some supplies. Can I only have 4? That's the most we can have at the moment. 4 chemical supplies. We can buy some supplies, I guess. Well, max endurance, damage reduction, grain. There we go. And then we've got rooms as well. So you can sleep in the common room for free. You stay in the Direward's Pride. That's for 2 rests, 2 resolve, or we can stay here for and get 1 perception and 1 mechanics. It is expensive at 110 copper, but I will do it. Your sleep is restless and fevered, assaulted by hisses and whispers, blanketed with a suffocating anxiety. You open your eyes to awaken, and find yourself in front of gilded vales, gallows trees, the creaking of its ropes growing louder in your mind until the sound is deafening. Hanging from the tree is an old dwarf woman whose face is shriveled inward like a mouldering fruit. Her head hangs limply to one side. As you look at her, she looms larger and larger in your mind until she is mere inches from your face. Suddenly her head snaps up and her eyes open. They are empty, and behind them is a vast nothingness that makes your stomach drop. Her mouth slowly parts, and with a gust of rancid air she speaks a word. Watcher. You jolt awake, the foul smell of the dwarf woman's breath still permeating in your nostrils. Sweat runs down your face in a thick droplet, and your skin is soaked from head to toe. You remember the woman. You remember seeing her decaying space when you first spoke with the magistrate. You called her an animancer. But it fills you with a new queasy apprehension. You feel a strange compulsion to see this woman once more, if only to confirm she is truly dead. So, we've got an extra chore. And we need to level the Berath. This is what it really looks like. So, 6 points. Just boost these just to get there. Give them a bit more stealth. Oh no, it might cost 2 points to advance. He does kind of need those, so yeah, let's give him law. Because he can use the scrolls then. So now we get to choose a spell for him. I think it's attached to what spells he's got, which isn't very good. Should have checked that before. Let's do that, if we level him up.
How may I help?
So he has Archimedes Dazzling Lights. Decreasing their will leave them dazed. He has Fan of Flames, that's fire, and minor letters, minor missiles. Okay, so corrode damage. And he also has Arcane Assault. This is supposed magical energy from the grim while it deals raw damage. Okay. Boost those. So I like him having his book. He's got like a sort of I think that's just actually a mace, I'm not sure if it's a staff. Spirit Shield, damage reduction and concentration bonus, Slicken. That's good. Oil. Grease is good. Blue Feet. Increase the movement rates. More defense when disengaging. Jolting Touch. So, Chain Lightning. Really cool. Ghost Blades. Kalikoth's Sunless Grasp. Freezes the enemy, reduces their accuracy. A set of veils. Disrupt enemy chant spellcasters. I might go for that one actually, just in case. Yeah. It's good to have that now. High chance of disrupt enemy spellcasters. Yeah, it's a very fast spell as well. So it interrupts spellcasters. Interrupts are very useful. Next, so we could choose our 3 book things. So it's going to blast on the target when using a wand, a rod, or scepter. Oh, that might be a rod actually. Grants blast. As the wizard to smash an enemy with the grimoire, energize with spiritual energy. Just literally hit the books, or hit them with the books. Arcane Veil. What else we got though? Okay. So you can actually, this is pretty cool. So actually, as a wizard, you can actually learn other things as well. So you've got like the, so you got the rogue ability, you've got the druid's ability there, you've got a monk's ability, and so on and so forth. It's where mimics the chanter's ability to summon skeletons. That's actually kind of neat. Acolyte's Radiance. That's what I think causes this character to unleash a wave similar to a priest simulate early energy. Okay. A charm an opponent. Can't be used at the start of the combat, it requires at least 5 seconds in combat. Oh, we can also choose other talents as well. So you can just get, these are like more generic ones. So these are based on classes. And you've got defensive ones here. Graceful retreat or utility. Astronomy move speed. Sound of flame, heart of the storm, spirit of decay. I might have to go for that one just for RP reasons. Quick switch, wound binding, field triage. Not bad. It's hard to choose just one. Deflection, resist direct melee and resist, then AoE. Class level and resolve. Yeah, 13 seconds, that's not bad. Combat can go on for a rather one. So let's see, yeah, I'd say yeah, a nice bit of defense there.
Well,
Well, the Eloth should be getting to melee combat, but oh dear. Well,
keeping an eye out.
now we can steal. We can sneak. Yeah, I think the stealth system's like good enough in this game. It's fairly simple, it's just I think because it's a CRPG that I'm not really used to it. Right, before we continue any further, I will have to take a break. And in fact, I'm gonna call it there tonight. But yeah, tomorrow, well, when I next play, which actually might well be tomorrow, we will be helping out further in the Direwood. And hopefully recruiting another companion. But yeah, thank you ever so much for watching. Take care. That's stuff now.